Hey Carlos, how was your week? How are you doing?
Good, good, Mitch. I'm actually in Panama City Beach right now. I had to drive a long time. It's 1 hour before where I am because there's different. The U.S. is so big. You have so many time zones, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah,
Well,
so it's an
Austria.
hour early and it's raining. But yeah, I've had a crazy, crazy week. A lot of things going on. How's your week been going?
Also crazy. Also crazy. A lot to do in the 9 to 5, and yeah, super
Yeah,
tired already. But anyways,
yeah.
I'm fired up for my tomorrow's gym morning session. I will be at the gym at 5:15 a.m. So that's the plan.
How long is your session?
3.5 hours. So it's
Jeez.
2.5 hours of weightlifting with the machines and some calisthenics,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then 1 hour of hit mix of on the treadmill, stairmaster, and then
yeah.
on the bike. Yeah,
Do
super
you
fire.
have
My
do you
highlight
have
of the week.
that's insane. That's gonna be nice a nice present for your body.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you
Well,
guys have
I'm
your gym, do you have the Stairmaster, where you're climbing?
yes. That's one of the three things I'm doing in the hit session.
Yeah. I
So I'm
want
doing
to start doing that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was super
Yeah.
happy when they put it in the gym.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's 20 minutes treadmill or like in hit, like so 1 minute like fire, like
Yeah, yeah.
let's get it. And
Yeah.
then 2 minutes of like fast walking.
Yeah.
And when I'm on the stairmaster, it's also like similar, 1 minute fire and then 2 minutes slower, and
Yeah.
also on the bike the same. But after that after that hour, I'm totally done. Like
You're
it's
done.
really hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
What
awesome, yeah. I
what
do
about you?
something. I switch it up. I do some calisthenics one day. So I do strength training twice a week, and then I do judo 3 days a week, and then I run twice a week. So before I would try to do two physical activities
Mhm.
in the same day, but it's too much. And so now, unfortunately, I have to make sacrifices. I have to run less or do more strength training or do more judo, do less running. So I've tried to kind of keep all of my things so I have enough time and I actually can get good. Because if I do judo, for example, 1 day a week, I might as well not even go because it's just, you're never going to learn anything. You're never going to get good. Same with strength training. You can't strength train for 1 day a week. So, and
Yeah.
then in judo, I do a lot of strength. We do a lot of plyo, like hit, like you say.
Mhm.
So that's kind of strength training in and of itself. You have to do a lot of that. And then the running, I do some long runs, short runs. And so, yeah. And then just being more conscious about eating because I used to run a lot and then not eat enough protein. And so you lose muscle, when you run so much. So you really
Yeah,
have to kind of manage everything.
you gotta be careful with that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I think sometimes we forget how much calories we really burn, because I just checked my stats last time, and I think I'm 1,000 calories I'm burning with my workouts on average. That's my
Yeah.
average a day, and
Yeah.
that's
It's
not the
after
what.
as well, right? After
Yeah,
you get
yeah,
out of the gym, you're burning.
yes, and
Yeah.
also the 10K steps habit I have. I increased my steps now to on average 18,000 a day. So that's also some calories. I don't know how much, but this also
Yeah,
adds
that's
up. Like, and I
and then the
tend to
ice
forget
baths
that.
as well.
Yes, I think I'm not sure. I need to watch Andrew Huberman's podcast again about that.
I think he said something about fat loss with cold
Yes,
therapy.
I
Or
can remember.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy, man. Yeah.
I have talked to a lot of people recently, because I'm wondering like what is truly holding the people back to to start. I mean,
Yeah.
we know that the procrastination enemy, but
Yeah.
what is truly holding them back? What do you think are the most
Yeah.
common reasons?
What you said about procrastination, I think a lot about procrastination has to do with fear. You know, you see a big project and you're just intimidated, so you just don't want to start. But I think a lot of it has to do with you're not even starting because you have these thoughts ingrained in your brain, ingrained in your mind from past experiences or growing up or somebody telling you, you know, things that you're not good enough, or you know, you don't have what it takes to get where you want to get, you know. And so before even starting, before even trying to do something, you're setting your standards super low because you just think that you don't have what it takes, you know. And these limiting beliefs, they're your thoughts, and we have a pre-programmed response, you know, because it's like an emotional habit. You know how we have habits, we go waking up in the morning, etc. We also have emotional habits where something happens and then we automatically think certain thoughts, and then we automatically have certain emotions just out of habit. And this habitual chain makes us think in a certain way and act in a certain way, and it's almost automatic. You know, like you're seeing something on TV or seeing somebody do something, and automatically you're, oh no, I can't do that, you know. And so you have to stop yourself, because if you don't stop yourself, you're always thinking that way and you're not living to your full potential, you know. And so that's the
Yeah,
problem. That's why a lot of people don't start, right?
I also used to think I cannot wake up every day that early. I cannot get that shredded like all the people on you see on the videos and stuff. But I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Like I put those self-limiting beliefs on the side, and I just like in the beginning I was really doubting myself because I made no progress in training and stuff. And
Yeah,
I think the also what's holding them back is um that they look at the goal and see how much work it is. And in the beginning, you don't see that much progress, you know, like
yeah,
in fitness, for example, you get some fast progress in the beginning and then it slows down. And
yeah,
you just think your work is not paying off.
yeah,
But every rep, it doesn't matter if it's in training or in, I don't know, in sales or stuff, every rep adds up over time. And
yeah,
I think also that the environment they're in plays a very, it's crucial, like in which environment you're in, which friends, which circle you're in. Because if everyone is just playing the mediocrity game and nobody really wants to move the needle forward, to go to progress forward, you will you will not try, or you will not take the risk. You're always
yeah,
looking at those people in the videos and in the TV, and as you
yeah,
said, like, yeah, that's an athlete and they are built for this, they're born for this. That's not true. Like they all started
yeah.
at the same point, like you're starting, right?
I
And
think, yeah, yeah,
so
I think, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, that's it from my side about this.
Yeah, I used to be, um, and I still do sometimes, you know, where I limit myself. I see people, but back then, some years ago, it was worse, where I would see somebody doing something I thought I could never do, and I would just be intimidated. And you have to be, you have to first want it, you know, because you
Mhm.
can't make somebody want to become better. You have to first want to be better. And then through wanting that, through desiring that, you are proactive in your search to find solutions. I think those two things are fundamental, because if you're not wanting to be better, then you're just going to survive, you know, you're just going to get by.
Yeah, day by
And
day. you're just living from day to day, you know, like.
Yeah.
And I also think, like, just imagine you see someone die from cancer, like lung cancer, heavy smoker, maybe, I don't know, and you were smoking too. So before you had no, like, I think sometimes you need to create some urgency, to have some urgency to make a change. And that's a point where most people stop smoking. Why don't they know that smoking, for example, is not very healthy, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't they stop before? You
Yeah.
know, sometimes the pain of staying the same needs to be bigger than the fear of making that first step. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like there needs to be some urgency. And
Yeah.
that was the same for me. Like I over and over and over and over and over again, I started again and again. You know, like I didn't want this anymore. You know, I wanted to really, that's more specific on keeping the promises you made to yourself. You know,
Yeah.
you tell yourself, okay, on Monday I start this, on Monday I quit smoking, on Monday I do this, I do that. And on Tuesday, Wednesday, or on Thursday, I failed the first time. And you
Yeah.
know, I was totally like, I didn't want this anymore. So
Yeah.
I decided to make a stop and to go all in. And that's what also a reason for the 365 days challenge. I'm
Yeah.
smoke free, alcohol free, and all that stuff since 57 days now. And I mean, I didn't smoke or drink alcohol. A lot of times I already stopped a long
Yeah.
time before, but there were some occasions. Is this the right word? The
Yeah.
right, yeah. Where I did it again, and I had some setbacks, you know. And on Sunday I woke up and I was like, why did I do this again? Again, I broke the promise made to myself. That's what I mean with urgency, you know, or frustration is maybe the better word.
Yeah. Yeah.
This needs to add up. Like the steps
Yes.
we're doing adds up to our personal development.
Yeah.
We need to create a bundle of frustration, you know, that needs to have a certain size that you really make the change.
That's why, you know, people don't learn with facts and statistics. You see, you
Yeah.
can read, oh, people are dying with cancer. They're still smoking. Why they're still smoking?
Yes.
People don't care. They're not moved. They're not persuaded by facts. People are persuaded by emotions.
Yes.
People make decisions. We're emotional creatures. And if you want to move with urgency, like you were saying, frustration, that's an emotion. You need to get frustrated. You need to say enough is enough. You need to be aggressive. You need to get angry. You need to use these things to your advantage, because if you're just like a sloth, you know what a sloth is? Like those animals that they're kind of like a koala bear. They're just kind of hanging out. They're very easygoing. That's not going to move the needle. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, what are you doing, man? Like you need to wake up, okay? You're getting older. You're still in the same spot. You know, you want to have kids, you want to have a family. Who do you want to be in this life? Do you want to just get by and survive? Or do you want to live to your full potential? Do you want to be somebody? Do you want to be proud of yourself? You know?
You need
And so,
you need to take full ownership.
Yeah.
I don't know where this comes from. I think from Andy Frisella.
Extreme ownership, Jocko.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Extreme
and
ownership.
Yeah. You need to hold yourself. I mean, you can get someone that holds you accountable, but in the end, it's your responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, like it's your responsibility to move the needle forward.
You need to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I was gonna say, like, and for this, you need to understand, because people feel stuck. You know, they feel trapped, and they just put their hands up and they say, I guess that's just how things are. But things don't have to be that way, right?
Carlos, did you hear that phrase, like, that's just not for me? That's
Yeah.
just not for me. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly.
that's just not for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just not for me.
And implicitly they're saying it's just another way of saying that they're not good enough, or they don't
Yes.
have what it takes,
Mm.
because they may be scared, because they may fear other people's opinions. And what I wanted to say is this learning mindset you've heard of before, this growth mindset,
Yes.
that with the right effort, with the right tools, with the right feedback, with the right mentorship, you
Mhm.
can move the needle forward. Your skills are not fixed. You can get better. Okay, you can lose weight. You can come from a family that are all overweight. It doesn't mean you can't lose weight. You know, if you try.
But that's what most people think.
Yeah, that's what most people think.
All like my whole circle is overweight, so that's how it is. That's
Yeah,
how it is. That's
and
why I'm too.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the self-awareness, right? First understanding, like educating yourself before trying to tackle something, is understanding certain key concepts, that there's this mindset that's based on research. It's not fake, that you can get better, you know?
Mhm.
And so that's the first thing, having this learning mindset, that things can, you don't have to stay where you are.
Yeah, and also like for a very, very long time they thought that in higher age you can't change anymore. Like you can't learn stuff.
Yeah.
Did you hear this? Like, and that's also something I heard a lot of times, and they say like, okay, I'm old, I cannot learn this anymore. That's
Right.
also not true. Like there
No.
is no, it's never too late to make a change.
No.
Honestly, even I
Yeah.
have, even I mean, I don't know how much time I have left on this earth. We all don't know, but even if I have 5 years left, it's worth to live those 5 years at my best than just giving up and accepting the status quo that I don't
Yeah.
want to accept. You
Yeah.
know,
And people
for
need help
example.
with that, you know? They need help
Yes.
with, because they dug themselves into this story. They've created this story in their mind, because that's how we always
Yes.
think in stories, you know? Like every day we're telling ourselves stories about ourselves in our mind unconsciously. And so we need to rewrite this story. We need to rewrite the things that we tell ourselves. We need to change that by sitting down and writing a story of who you want to be. You know, what do you want to do with your life? What kind of person do you want to be? And then you can work backwards and start creating evidence, start
Yes.
creating action, confirming that you are that person every day, confirming your identity. Your identity is nothing more than the makeup of your actions
and
daily.
that's and that's why it's so important to what I said before, like to keep the promises made to yourself, because that's also
Yeah.
evidence, and that's why I'm so convinced by the habit-based approach. I'm always telling my habit devs, we had a I don't know if I did mention, we had the first big group call today. It was awesome. And yeah, that's why I always tell him it's better to do a fraction than to do nothing at all. Because if you do nothing at all and you just skip the habit, you basically didn't show up. You didn't show the evidence, that you do what you say, what you tell yourself you will do,
Yes.
or you did tell yourself, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's, and how important is that? Because you've said that a lot. You've said that it's with the habit approach is so important. And yeah, and what I like what you do is you have percentages, okay, how much did you do of this versus not doing it? Because you're seeing it visually,
Mhm.
that you're still doing something, It's like a
Yes.
professional athlete
Mhm.
who doesn't even get out of bed or doesn't even show up to practice versus showing up and at least trying a little bit. You're
Yes.
still moving the needle.
Yes.
And read one page or two pages. You can't read 30 minutes or for an hour. Okay, but pick up the book and read something, you know?
Better than nothing, you
Yeah,
know?
and it keeps the momentum going.
Yes. And that's a good point, because I'm also working on a mobile app, as you know, and currently I have literally no time for it. Like I really have no time for it. And I did not accept to move it aside and to put it down, you know? So I decided to make it a small habit, and to do a fraction of what I should do.
Yeah,
Um, and okay, if it's for a shorter period, now it's maybe just 20 minutes, but
yeah,
I'm still doing it, you know. I'm at this project. I know I'm moving the needle a little forward, not too much, but I don't disconnect from the project. If I put it down
mm,
now and I go back to the project, I don't know, in 4 or 5 months, guess what? I need to start over again, because it's very hard to get into it like that again, you know, in the
yeah.
code and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how that you said that, because I have projects that I've had to prioritize and I've just
Mm.
left. You know, I've had to just put them on pause because I just don't have the space. And then I find myself, when I go back to the project, you do have to sort of start from the beginning, because you have to see, okay, where are all your notes?
Yes.
I know where I stopped, but you have to refresh everything, you know,
Yeah. And this
and get the
takes
momentum.
time. This
Yeah, it
takes
takes
a
time.
lot of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you do it for like 20 minutes or 15 minutes, you're still present. You're still in the game with that project. You may not be doing a lot, but you're still moving the needle, you know?
Yeah. And that's what it's about. You know, we are here for the long run, not
Yeah,
for the short run. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
I don't care if I make it in the next 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. I just heard that, like, there are some people that work their asses off for 10 years, but then boom, you know, it worked out. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's what just a few people can do. Even with the podcast, I don't know. I think you said something last time that there is a statistic that most podcasts don't make it past the 50th episode,
50th,
50th
50.
episode. Yeah, 50 episode.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean,
Because
that's not,
they don't see progress maybe, or they
yeah,
have the wrong perspective on what progress looks like.
yes.
Because like you said, a lot of times people expect progress to be action
Mhm.
equals going up. No, I mean, action, 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 and then all of a sudden, boom, it goes up like this, you know?
Yes, yes. And and I think most people also have a misconception about how long it really takes, you know, because also we see that the finished thing, you know, we see the finished podcast already, like a few thousand listeners. We see the video creators that have 100K followers. Guess what? Like they also started at zero. And they are just a few that make it from start to 100K in a few weeks. That's not something that's the average person can, like, not the average person. I mean, that's not the average case, you know?
Yeah,
Like, most of the times you just need to be consistent and put in the work. Even
yeah,
podcast, video creation, content creation, you need that journey between, like, zero and blowing up. You know, you need to grow into that role also, I think. What do
yeah.
you think about that? I mean, I
There's a
would
lot
be
of,
totally overwhelmed if I suddenly have 500K followers on Instagram. I'm not prepared for that. You know, like,
no,
I need to grow in such roles.
yeah. And that's a nice way to putting it, of growing in these roles. Gary Vee recently posted something about um, you're always you're always growing. So
Yes.
this idea that you have to be a certain way at a certain time is nonsense. because you're always growing. Everything you're doing is always growth. Whether you're failing or you're learning, you're always growing, you know. And so
Yes.
like what you were saying with mental with doing things, you have content creation, you have all these projects that you're working on. Consistency is key, but then you start having this so many things, like this mental load, and you just become stressed. How do you deal with that? How do you
So what my approach is for reducing, I would not say reducing, but because it's not even possible to reduce my mental load at the moment. It's just a lot of things
yeah,
that come to my mind every minute, every second of the day. I just like have to think about a lot of stuff and tasks. And my approach for that is a simple note where I write down my thought as soon as it pops up. You know, I write it down. If I'm in the middle of a task and this thought comes up, I write it down and forget it. You know, I will get back to this task later, but I don't let this thought disturb what I'm currently doing, because this drastically reduces the productivity. It will always pull you off track what you're currently doing. So I don't know where I read this name, but I call it Get Shit Done list. And somebody posted it. I can't remember where I read it, but yeah, that's what the name is now. Get
get shit done list.
Yeah.
That's an awesome tactic, and because it's a lot of it has to do with self-control, you know, it's impulse control. You have a thought, or all of a sudden you have to deal with another issue, and now you have 3 more taskers, 3 more things to do, 5 more things to do. And when that happens to me, I do the exact same thing. I get on I call it the capture inbox.
Mhm.
And every idea or note or thought that comes to mind, or something that I have to do, I write it in the capture inbox. And then at the end of the day or in the morning of the next day, I'll look at it, and then I'll see what the hell it is. If it's something that's actionable, then I'll make it into an action item, and I'll start just categorizing it, basically. You know, I'll take like 10 minutes to do that. And it can get a little overwhelming if you let it pile up and get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, but Carlos, also the thing, because you said it's overwhelming. Yes, the list can totally get overwhelming, but if you just try to keep it in your like in your head, like
It's
all the
worse.
thoughts and stuff, you're constantly afraid to forget things. So what you're basically doing is write it down, and by writing it down and forgetting it, you have the security that you won't leave it on the table, because it's written down. You will go over that list, and you don't need to be afraid that it's left on the table.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Yeah.
most helpful part in this thing.
Yeah.
But also, like you said, this is already like very advanced, like categorizing it. I mean, I know we are doing this, but most people will probably stop at the list.
With a
But
list, yeah.
yeah.
But it's these little things, you cannot underestimate how powerful they are. Just writing it, taking the time to write it down and continue. It's like you're driving a car and you see something that captures your attention. You have to keep looking on the road. Stay on the road, and then you'll deal with the other things later. If you've made a plan for the day, stay as much as possible on that plan. Especially if you're accounting for your time. Right? And everything's based on time and chunks of time, whatever. There's so many hours in the day. You know, I wish we could sleep. I could only sleep 4 hours, you know, but we sleep 6 to 8 hours, and then we only have whatever minus that. I'm not good at math. 16 hours,
All fine.
18 hours. And then
Yeah,
you
well,
have to,
it depends. Well, it depends. 9 to 5, and the other stuff you have to do if you have kids and
yeah. And if you have kids, and yeah, and then time just runs out, like
yeah,
especially if you're doom scrolling or taking a time, like
it,
I found really helpful twice in the day, in the middle of the day, I'll take a 15-minute break and I'll do stretching and breathing. And that completely refocuses me and
that's a good.
helps me stay focused on what I need to do, because everybody and everything wants to pull your attention. Discipline is a big byproduct of focus.
Yes, totally agree.
If you cannot manage your thoughts, your emotions pulling you in this way or that way, you're going to lose time, you're going to get distracted, and you're not going to be consistent.
Yeah, good points, man. Yeah, I'm just watching the clock. We are already a little over, like always, but was a nice call, Carlos. I'm already looking forward. I think in 2 weeks we will have the next call.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was, as always, it was a pleasure to me. Thanks a lot for your time, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. We'll talk again, all right? Let's do this again. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Take care.